Okay, so we want to tell you all about Morrison Ranch today. Have you had enough pumpkin? We had the chance to go out to Gilbert, Arizona, and take a look at what's going on in Morrison Ranch. If you didn't know, Morrison Ranch is one of the highest demand communities in Gilbert. But with interest rates going up a couple years ago, people have been gravitating towards newer and also further out because of everything that the builders have to offer. But I'll tell you, 2 years into this, we are now realizing that maybe living closer in and getting the seller to assist with buyers' closing cost makes more sense. Let's see, first of all, where is Gilbert, Arizona? It is just a hop and a skip in the Southeast Valley. It's interesting to know that Gilbert itself only has about 6% of their land. What is the word I'm looking for? Only 6% of the land in the town of Gilbert is attributed to employment. Most of the people that live in Gilbert are commuting from the neighboring cities, and this will continue to flourish Gilbert. Within a 30-minute drive in almost any direction, we are talking hundreds of thousands of jobs. So when you're looking for job opportunity and job just economics and making sure that it's always a hustling and bustling area, Gilbert is at the top of the list. When we look at what else Gilbert has to offer, we're talking about freeway access, which makes a huge difference if you live out in the middle of nowhere, right? Gilbert is surrounded by two different freeways. No, wait, I'm sorry, three different freeways. Forgot there for a moment, literally all the way around it. So you can head either north, south, east, or west, and you're going to hit a freeway. And from there, you're going to obviously get to wherever you're going exponentially. Within 10 minutes of this particular community, can you think of what it is? You will get to the mountains. If you are an outdoor girl or guy or family like I am, after I did this video, I just popped right on up to Superstition Mountain area. And I actually got all the way up to Saguaro Lake. So if you like boating, if you like paddleboarding, if you like shooting a gun, if you like going camping, if you like hiking, if you like mountain biking, if you like off-roading, if you like side-by-siding, is that a thing? This is only 35, 40 minutes away. Shopping. You are within 10 minutes of absolutely everything you can possibly imagine. Everything from a mom and pop little breakfast joint so you can have brunch. If you want to have a farm to table restaurant, if you want to have brewery and brewery choices, if you want a wine bar, if you want a steakhouse, if you want healthy eating, if you want vegan, if you want absolutely the best tacos ever, all within 10 minutes of this area. If you are looking for shopping, did I already say that? If you're looking for shopping, whether you're looking for Macy's, Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Sprouts, let me think of all the other things, and bookstores and clothing stores, Victoria's Secret, makeup, Ulta, I'm telling you, within 10 minutes of Morrison Ranch. Morrison Ranch, I feel like is a forgotten jewel. I haven't seen a whole lot of people requesting, and that might be because there's not a lot on the resale market. Or maybe it's because when you go online in your searching areas, if you try to search Morrison Ranch, you're not going to find any. Now, why is that? Because Morrison Ranch is the master plan community, and inside the master plan community, there are neighborhoods. So let's talk a little bit more about those neighborhoods and what the difference is. So Morrison Ranch is right off of the 202 and Higley Road. That's kind of the main arterial road, if you would, but it spans out all the way to Wrecker and even on the east side of Power. Let's come back to over to Higley. Higley, again, is like the main drag, if you would. And you know you're in the right area when you're driving down Higley and see these white picket fences. I am telling you, it's just so welcoming. There's still some areas that haven't been developed. Those are currently designated anyways for more commercial and hopefully a few retail. You'll still see some bales of hay. I said that right. I was about to say Hales of Bay on the side of the road because they still do grow hay in this area, which, by the way, Gilbert was the hay capital of the world 100 years ago. And now they also have this beautiful common area, beautiful lake. And I actually had a great time taking Levi down there, and we found these young ladies that were in the catch and release pond area, and they happened to catch a fish. How fun for the kids. One of the other iconic symbols for Morrison Ranch is the 4 silos. That is where you know, again, you are right smack dab in the middle of Morrison Ranch. And this is also where the local grocery store and a few other pleasantries are there. There's a McDonald's, there's a bank, there's also a coffee shop. And again, if you need groceries, Bash's used to be a locally owned grocery store. And now it's owned by, I think, Fry's. But there is a Basha family. Basha's actually helped kind of really change Arizona to what it is today. But anyways, it's still a small town feeling grocery store. You're going to love shopping at Bashas because I'm sure wherever you're coming from, you don't have it. Now, if we go and take a look at the map, this kind of breaks out the Morrison Ranch subdivision, or sorry, master plan community, and it'll tell you what is where and what you get. Let's take a peek. So this is the majority of Morrison Ranch, okay? I was just talking about Higley Road, which is this road right here. And this is where the shopping, the town center, and some of the lake and the open land is still right here, okay? This is where the original Morrison Ranch was built. Now, when you think of Morrison Ranch and you even just type online Morrison Ranch and you look at the beautiful images, this is the part of that you see. These homes are about 20 years old. They are price point depending on the size. We just sold a home there. In fact, let's show it to you guys. We just sold a home there just under $850. Instead of going out further and having to put all this money into a new backyard, some of the upgrades, some of the options, the builders have beautiful models, don't get me wrong, and they're pulling you in. But the resale, there's a lot of opportunity out there right now. Check out this house that we got for our client just a couple weeks ago. We are so excited, and the kids start school in just a few weeks. Did we get our buyer a fantastic deal, we also were able to negotiate some concessions. So again, the sellers are cooperating with this and helping to buy down the rate. One of the things I love about this part, Higley Groves of Morrison Ranch, is it's so mature. The overgrown trees, the luscious green. And if you're worried about the water, and I was too, because they actually have a rule that you have to make sure your front yard is green. You cannot change it to desert landscaping. That's one of the requirements. That's one of the things Morrison Ranch pulls people in. It's so green, and they use all reclaimed water. So that's a big plus. But you'll notice that these have narrower streets. And here's an unlucky car owner that left their car overnight. This is what happens. So this part honestly is my favorite part of Morrison Ranch. It does have older homes, but here's the thing, guys. Again, would you rather put $100,000 in a backyard, or would you rather put $25,000 on the roof, or maybe in the HVAC? Look, if you buy a new home, you're still going to be putting some things in. If you buy a resale home, you're still going to be putting things in. You need to figure out what works best for you. And here's the thing for me. I want to live closer in. I like having not one choice of a grocery store, although I did just mention Basha, but I want to go to maybe Whole Foods, or maybe Trader Joe's, or maybe I want to go to Fry's, or I want to go to AJ's, which is another locally owned restaurant. Maybe I want to go to Ranch Market in Chandler. I like having choices. And I feel like Morrison Ranch is going to allow you to do choices. Here's the other benefit of living in this community. We talked about how there's already activities and amenities going on. This community does not fall short by any means with things going on. And you're moving into an already established, gorgeous community. And they also have community events. They actually have a whole, like, their HOA is way more than an HOA. I would almost say it's almost like a town council. Like, they have their own Facebook group, they have an e-newsletter, they have all kinds of community things. They have food truck pop-ups. They have special events for the holidays, Halloween. They have a Christmas contest for the best decorated house. They also have movie in the park over at the amphitheater. They have so many things that when you move in, you're just boom, right into it instantly. All kinds of kids in the area. One of the elementary schools, again, this is how welcoming the families and the children are. They had a red bench. And if you're new to the school and you don't know anyone, or you don't have anyone to play with, you sit on this bench, and the kids know that that is a child that's looking for new friends or someone to play with. And so the kids all gravitate and make these children feel welcome. I'm telling you, this is a great familial community. There is such a community connection. In fact, when you move in, after you can prove that you are the homeowner, there's a private Facebook group that you can even join.
We're family now, and I got your back forever. You hear me?
And there's all kinds of camaraderie and things. Like, there's a community garage sale, there is barbecues, there's spring fling for the Easter time. There's so many things that are already established. Like, you don't have to wait for another few years for another couple thousand people to move in if you're buying into those new construction areas. So this is why I would really, really suggest that you consider Morrison Ranch. And you got to give us a call, because there's not a lot of homes that come on the market. And so when they do, we strike when it's hot. So Higley Groves, love this home, love this community. Couldn't be happier for our client. Now, these homes are about 20 years old. So again, you're trading off literally move-in ready, over the top. And then you just got to probably pay for it. Like I said, new roof, maybe a few new windows, and depending on what the AC is. Because again, at 20 years, that's when people start replacing the AC in Arizona. I know that sounds crazy, because here's what they say. It works. It works until it's 115 degrees every day for days on end.
This is getting crazy now.
Now, if we go a little bit south on Elliott, let's take a look at that map real quick. We're going to go to an area called Higley Estates, and that's right over here. So here was Higley Groves, and here's Higley Estate. If you're a $1 million buyer, these are the homes you're looking for, to be honest with you. These are on quarter-acre lots, and they are, although they're 20 years old, they have been extremely well kept. They have a lot of Spanish style. There are some modern homes as well. But what I love about this particular area, if you don't mind doing the yard work, which, do I look like I like doing the yard work? It doesn't have as much of a cozy feel as we saw over in Higley Groves, but Higley Estates, if you're looking for, I don't want to be right up against my neighbor, this is probably going to be the best choice for you. This is where you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck in Higley Estates. It's not very large. There's not a whole lot of homes in this part of the community, but there are some absolutely gorgeous, I call these like sprawling estates, if you would. Now, let's move over to an area called Warner Groves. Let me show you where that is. Warner Groves is right over here. This is the area that you probably, when people were really starting to gravitate towards Morrison Ranch, it's because Higley Groves at that point was already starting to get established. It was sold out. The trees were growing. The grass was green. It was amazing. And so people were gravitating towards Morrison Ranch. And we saw some beautiful homes in Warner Groves. Now, these are slightly newer. Warner Groves, depending on which part of Warner Groves, because there are higher end homes on the quarter-acre lots. Those were built by Ashton Woods. Ashton Woods also does have a luxury line. And then they also have some smaller homes in this area that were built by Fulton and Mary Kay. And Mary Kay is now absorbed into a new builder. But Fulton puts out a fantastic product. Either way, Warner Groves is only 7 years old. Like some of them are 8, some of them are 6, but you get my point. 2016, 2017, that's not that old. These homes do still have the original roof and they have the original AC for the most part. I really can't imagine anybody going at 8 years. Let's just proactively replace a $20,000 item. And if it's a larger home, like the Ashton Wood homes that are on the quarter-acre lots, you're probably looking at around 25,000. So again, these you want to know, if you want to know like what your utility bills are going to be, you want to know what property taxes are going to be, you want to have a backyard completed. I'm telling you, there's a lot more benefit buying a newer, this is what I call a newer home, not a new home. And again, let me talk about proximity. Proximity. You know what we didn't finish talking about is schools. Schools in this area, you have a couple of choices. You have public schools, and then you also have charter schools, and then you also have some Montessori schools, and you have some online schools, and you have some tech schools, and there's a lot of school choices. And because Arizona has open enrollment, people that live here in this area, because of the freeway proximity, again, freeways change everything. You can take your kids even over to some of the Chandler schools if you prefer. Chandler High Schools, the public schools are really hard to beat. They are fantastic. And again, you're right off of the 202 with this community, and you can pop on down to the high schools. Although Highland High School is also a very sought after high school in the town of Gilbert. Also, medical care. Our client is actually a nurse. The wife is a nurse. And so she asked me, she's like, well, where's the closest medical care here off of Morrison Ranch? And I was like, well, pick two. There's two major ones right here. One of them is Dignity Health. The other one is Banner. Now, that doesn't mean it's the only medical care, but the fact that you have multiple choices, you also have Honor Health in the greater Phoenix area. You also have, is it Abriza? I think it's Abriza. There's a lot of choices, and you're not too far from a lot of the different cancer and specialty and dentist, and everything you need is right smack here. And we're only going to see more and more retail pop up, and I have a little secret for you coming up in Morrison Ranch area. So don't scroll through, or don't click forward, because I'm going to save it for the end. So again, Warner Groves offers a lot of things. Again, those smaller homes built by Fulton and Mary Kay, those are going to be in the $700,000 to $800,000 price point. And then the larger Ashton Wood homes, and they are really big homes, those are right at about 1.5 million. But again, when you're looking for large homes, the new, even if you can find new construction with large home and a large lot, now you're talking 150 or more in that backyard. Now I'm going to confuse you even more. And I'm going to show you on the in between Higley Road and Wrecker. What am I talking about? It is called Lakeview Trails. So there's quite a few Lakeview Trails. Say that 3 times real fast. So mind you, this is inside Morrison Ranch. So do you type in Morrison Ranch? No. Do you type in Lakeview Trails? Well, maybe, but it would be Lakeview Trails North, Lakeview Trails Southeast, and Lakeview Trails Southwest. Whoa, there's a lot going on, and I haven't even gotten over here to these guys. There is a lot of neighborhoods in Morrison Ranch. You're just going to have to give us a call, because there's little differences all over. Now, let's talk about Lakeview Trails North. Then this is going to be, again, back into that like entry-level affordability area in Morrison Ranch. It's close to the shopping, it's close to that park, the lake, and it's now between two major roads. But again, Higley is going to be your best bet to get down to 202. That's the freeway access. These homes were built about 10 to 15 years ago. Most of them also were Ashton Woods and Blandford. Again, these homes are only about 10 or 15 years old. These are going to be in the $600,000 to $700,000 price point. If we go to the southwest part, this is getting to the juicy stuff. Don't go anywhere, guys, because I'm going to start talking about Toll Brothers in a minute. Southwest, we are also talking very large lots. We're talking newer homes that are going to be in the 4, 5, no, not even that old. Meritage is one of the builders, and also Camelot. Now, Camelot is typically a Scottsdale builder. I'll be honest with you, you can't get into a Camelot home in Scottsdale for under $3 million. Camelot was building some $1 million+ homes here in Morrison Ranch, and those are beautiful at $1.5 to $2 million. But I'll tell you, you get twice as much home as you did up in Scottsdale. These homes are state-of-the-art, super over the top, energy efficient. The backyards are insane. Let's talk about backyards real quick. So if you're a Toll Brothers lover, and who is not, if we're talking luxury, Toll Brothers comes up. And again, don't go anywhere because I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I want to talk about the backyards. Toll Brothers knows how to win your heart and your eyes and probably your pocketbook if you can afford it. And it's mostly because of their interior design and their exterior design. And I'd love to introduce to you Creative Environments, which is Toll Brothers' exclusive landscaper. I'm talking over the top. Creative Environments is really just that. They are very, very creative. Whether you have a small space, a big space, if you want a pool, if you don't have a pool, if you want two separate areas, they're really, really amazing. You should see the owner's home. It's over the top. But needless to say, it is a highly recommended company. And by the way, if you give them a call, tell them Sheryl Willis sent you. Now we're going to get to the southeast part of Lakeview Trails in Morrison Ranch. This is why you got to give us a call. Relocation is completely different than just hiring a realtor, which by the way is coming up. You got to hire your realtors now. It's not just opening doors. It's about knowing ins, outs, areas, lifestyle, quality, builders, what to look out for, what to ask for, what to demand for. We're here, boots on the ground, especially if you are relocation. You really need a lot of this extra information. You just can't buy online, I promise you. But relocation is very different than just hiring a realtor. Okay, now we're getting to the juicy part. We are in Lakeview Trails in the southeast part. There was two predominant builders, TriPoint and Toll Brothers. And I think it's so funny. I get calls like this all the time. People are just going on the Toll Brother website. They want to buy new construction. And I'll tell you, in the Southeast Valley, you have two choices. You have a $2 million choice down in Bridal Ranch, and you have over $1 million with no backyard over at Kalita. If you are thinking about Toll Brothers, what about a newer home? They do have right now on the market a couple that have not been lived in yet, and also some that are already resale. Look, people move for different reasons. And if they just bought their home a year or two ago and they have a higher interest rate, we're going to start to see those homes come on the market more so than homes that were like 10 years or 15 years old, because those are the ones that have the really low interest rate. So let's take a look at these Toll Brother homes. I actually did a video a couple of years ago when they were still building. Let's take a look. So look, everything looks great online, right? The builders spend a lot of money on their drawings and their advertising and their marketing. Let's take a look at this model and see what it has to offer. To what's going on at the corner of Elliott and Power. This land was designated as industrial, light industrial. And the developer, the people that own the land, were going to be building 93% of that land was going to be industrial buildings. Well, that would just kind of kill the beautiful views and, feel of the Morrison Ranch area. So the town council said to the developer, you work with the homeowners and you guys figure out what's it going to take. Well, it did take a couple years. They did finally come to an agreement, and this is going to be built right on the corner of Elliott and Power, and it's called the Ranch. Now, the ranch is not going to be any homes to own, but it's going to add a little bit more, again, of that dynamics of restaurants and a few retail, and it's going to be a great walkable, scooterable. A lot of people have razors or golf carts that they cruise around these neighborhoods, and it's going to be a great stop to just pop on in and grab a burger or a beer. So the ranch is still to come. They haven't broken ground yet. That will be later this year. And there will be some high density living, which means apartments. And I promise you, these will be very high end apartments. But I'll be honest, again, why wouldn't I be honest? I'm always honest. Do I say that a lot? I think I say that a lot. So I'll be honest again. These are going to be high rate rentals. So these are going to be ideal for the Gen Zers. Oh my gosh, we have so many nomads that are moving here. I actually just met a young couple. He has 2 full-time jobs and she also works at home. So these are people that just like to bop around and live in different places, for a couple of years. This is going to be a real fun place for that type of demographic. Also, people that are of my age that are like, I'm selling my house, I'm putting all the money in the bank, and I'm just going to rent for a few years, figure out where I want to retire. This is going to be a real fun place for them too. There are a lot of other little smaller communities. And when I say little other smaller, because this one is 3,000 acres, that's pretty big. It's literally thousands of people that call Morrison Ranch home. But there's these other little tiny ones that I got in my little pocket. Like I can't do a whole video on because only maybe 1 or 2 homes come on the market every once in a while. You just got to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, days, nights, or weekends. We got your back when moving to Phoenix, Arizona. And if you are looking for relocation expert, white glove treatment, it's more than just buying a home. It's about the area, quality, and lifestyle. All right, guys, can't wait to hear from you. You just got to give us a call. See you soon. Bye. Take that to the bank.